everyone, welcome back to John's Cozy Corner. Today we are continuing on our Animal Crossing journey and moving to Wild World for the first time. But before we get to that, just want to say a big shout out to everyone who watched my latest video. We got a lot of new people here, so everyone wave to all the new people. That style of video is not my normal style of video. This is, so get used to this. Buckle up, we're getting in. Okay, so no trains this time around. We're in the back of a car and it's raining. I feel like Cap in here is going to drive us off a cliff before we can even get started. But I let him know my name, John. Hi, hello. Where are we going? We're going to Cozy Corn, of course. There you go. There's a little fun reference for some of you. Anyway, Cap'n drops me off, and I really don't know exactly how he got his car here or where he's driving off to, but I don't think the game wants me to question this, so I won't. So here I am in Cozy Corn. I enter the town hall and I am greeted by Pelly. It seems that they're on to bigger and better things because they are no longer just working at a post office. They are now the head of town hall and the post office. I'm letting them know that I just moved in. They show me my house. I see the layout of the map. So I enter into my house and I kind of acclimate myself with the settings a bit. The DS version has a lot of different pages, and I think there's a strong benefit to it being on DS with like a touchscreen and stylus situation. Now, unfortunately, I don't exactly have that, but I do have a mouse, and just from the little bit of time I've used the mouse navigating the menus in this game, it's a lot more seamless. It's a lot more nice to operate, so I like that. It's a big thumbs up from me. Also, I guess I just have an upstairs already. That's generous of Tom to give me an entire upstairs. Upstairs, I have a telephone and a bed, and it's actually kind of a bigger room than I imagined it would be, but we don't have time to make calls or take a nap right now. We're going back outside, and Tom Nook is right outside my door, and we have the unpleasant conversation where I tell him I can't afford any of this and that I'm going to cry. Tom gets the same bright idea that he always gets and asks me to work for him part-time. Okay, buddy, you got it. I'll get right on that. So thankfully for me, Tom Nook's shop and the clothing store are very close by to my house. I don't know how often that normally happens. I don't know if I got just some crazy like randomized luck there that both shops are right next to each other and also pretty close to my house, but I'll take it. Anyway, Tom gives me the same stupid uniform he gave me in the first game, and I gotta say there's a little bit more going on in the shop here than the first game. That's pretty neat. He's made some improvements. Good for Tom. Okay, so our first little assignment that he gives us is to plant flowers and trees, just like in the GameCube version. So here I go planting things, and I just realized even the museum is really close to everything. I'm just close to everything. I know the map probably isn't that big considering this was made for a DS, like the old DS. But anyway, I plant the plants and the trees and such. Go back in. Tom tells me to go introduce myself to my neighbors, so I get to figure out who's living here. Also, can we talk about how excited I am that my trees are peach trees? My New Horizons island has oranges, and man, I don't like oranges whatsoever, and I'm just excited I got something I even remotely like. I like apples too, and I got that in the GameCube version, but I don't know, peaches just have so much aura. Anyway, I go around looking for my first victim to talk to, and I meet Pierce. Pierce has a, honestly, very nice home, but we chat for a bit, and then he asked me to join his fitness academy. So he asked for my birthday, okay, and then he asked me for my blood type. What? You know what? I'm just gonna answer O, because that's what I said out loud vocally when he asked me this question. Anyway, I'm gonna leave his house now, and I'm going to go find my second villager. And I'm just so happy about that. It's Daisy. Like, are you kidding me? Daisy is adorable. They're carrying a shovel. They're wearing a dress that looks like a bunch of Lego bricks stacked on top of each other. I just love it. All right, and the third and last person. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta go talk to Tortimer. I made him blush because I'm a kiss ass. But anyway, eventually I find my third villager, Benedict. So I meet Benedict, and Benedict tells me that he remembers me from a dream he had last night where I was cooking him dinner, which is an insane thing to say when you first meet someone. I've got my eye on you, Benedict, and I'm not taking it off you. But on my journey to try and find Benedict, I went inside Abel's store and I saw they have a lot more clothing options than they did in the first game, and I'm all for it. I'm really happy about that. Genuinely. I went inside the museum and I saw the coffee icon and I chatted with Brewster. That's pretty neat that he's first introduced in Wild World. I don't really know what all you can do, but it's a fun feature. It's cool that they're doing so much and feels like they're adding on to an experience on a device that I feel like is vastly underpowered. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit impressed right now. But I eventually go back to Tom and I say, hey, I met everyone. Tom said, cool, I want you to do a delivery. I want you to give this thing to Daisy. And I say, okay. Daisy. I go talk to Daisy. I deliver the package. Daisy gives me a housewarming gift. They give me a bonsai tree. See, I knew I liked Daisy. They're just fantastic. All right, so next, Tom wants me to write a letter to Benedict, informing them about a sale happening. If you've watched my previous videos on Animal Crossing GameCube, you know that having to write villagers' letters kind of scares me a little bit. But here's what I'll say about the keyboard. Visually, I think it's much less of an eyesore than the GameCube version. And being able to use the stylus, oh my God, that's a game changer. It is miles better writing letters this way, using the stylus. So we'll tack that onto the imaginary list of things I like better in Wild World than in the GameCube version. Anyway, I write my letter, I post the mail. Now I have to go give a carpet to Pierce. You got it, champ? No worry, I'm good at this. Trust me, I've done it a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it takes me a little bit to figure out where Pierce lives because I really didn't expect bro to be living in the exact bottom right corner of the map. I give Pierce his flooring, and then he gives me something in return. We'll check out that flooring later, but I'm gonna go back to Tom because he told me not to dilly-dally. Okay, next thing, I have to deliver a watering can to Benedict. Okay, fascinating stuff. I give Benedict the watering can, and they confront me about the letter that I wrote for them and inform me that they share mail around and I shouldn't be weird. It's the same spiel they gave me in the GameCube version. And then I do the exact thing Tom Nook told me not to do, and I dilly-dally trying to make a snowman, but let me tell you, operating this on the D-pad is tricky, which is, we'll tack that onto the growing pains list, because doing several things on these controls is oh, and I ran it into the tree. I suck. Okay, Tom wants me to go put something on the bulletin board. You got it, Tom. I'm the man for the job. Okay, Tom, there, I posted something on the bulletin board. Are you happy? Okay, cool, got it. And I'm all done with working part-time. Tom deducted a measly 1,400 bells from my mortgage, which I'm gonna spoil the fun right now. I don't make another payment in this video. I put back on my MVP shirt, which I really don't like. And you know what? Let's check out this flooring that Pierce gave me. You know what? It's something. And I got this bonsai tree from Daisy. And here's what I will say. Here's another like list of things that it's like a bit of a growing pain. Managing the placing of furniture and just kind of operating all this movement is a little tricky on the DS version. I can't tell you how many times already I've placed something and then I went to go turn around and just kind of like leave, automatically in my head holding the B button for running, and I've just kind of like picked the object back up and I'm just like, oh, dang it. It's growing pains. It's not a huge complaint. But I have so much room upstairs, I figure I might as well start decorating that room too, and it seems I can't. So it seems like at the moment, because this is technically an attic and also the save room, I can't decorate this room, at least at the moment. I don't know if you can in the future, but I can't right now. Which, okay, you know what? Fair enough. So it seems I really only do have just a small room. All right, well, time to do the Animal Crossing thing and start gathering a bunch of fruit to then sell to Tom so I can buy things. Here's what I will say. I like that I can already buy a shovel and a fishing rod right away. That's nice. I can get right to it. Tom seems to have a lot more options this go around, and you know what, Tom? We all appreciate that. So I purchased the fishing rod and the shovel. I go around digging up holes, as you do in Animal Crossing. I tried doing a spot of fishing to see if there's anything that different. And there is something a bit different, and it's the same growing pain with the D-pad. It's kind of a struggle. A lot of my problems would just be fixed with a joystick. I might be able to change it to a joystick. I'm not positive. I'll look into that. But I think just that alone would fix a lot of my problems. But you know, fishing is fishing. It's pretty similar in all the games, it seems. I will say the hardest part about fishing in this is just getting the fish's attention in general. But after I do some of the more monotonous tasks of Animal Crossing, I take my fossils that I found and I go to Blathers. Let's see how this goes. Not only is Blathers far more concise in his words, he has finally figured out how to identify fossils. Let's just give Blathers a round of applause for that. Thank you. I'm glad I no longer have to go through a whole mail transaction to get this process done. I mean, not only that, it just feels like the whole process of getting fossils identified and giving them to him and donating stuff is far quicker and easier in this game, so good job. That's amazing. I love that. Alright, when I get done talking to Blathers, I head back to Tom Nook and I say, hey dude, let me get that Christmas tree. So I spend a lot of bells on a Christmas tree, considering it's somehow December 20th. How is that even a thing? How is that possible? Where's the time going? I'm getting old and things are just happening so much faster and I don't know how to keep up and things are just getting so much more complicated. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, here's my Christmas Christmas tree. So now I decided to chat with my villagers a little bit because I want to get to know them. I go into Pierce's house. Pierce tells me that they work out so much that they go through shirts like hotcakes, and then if I have any spare shirts to give them to Pierce. Okay, so my new quest is to get a new shirt for Pierce. I like that. Whatever. All right, so let's stop by Mabel's and pick out some clothing, not only for Pierce, but for me as well. Also, wait, hang on. I've just realized this as I'm editing the video. There's hats. I'm like, how did I miss that? I would have bought that hat in a heartbeat. How did I miss that? I am the most unobservant person on this planet. I swear. Whatever. I buy some shirts, and because I'm really not a big fan of this MVP shirt, I give that one to Pierce. Pierce is very excited about this. I think it fits him very well. And then he just like gives me the money for it, which I was like, okay, cool. You didn't have to. I was just gonna give you a shirt, friend, but all right. We like Pierce, though. Pierce is cool. So I see Daisy. Of course, I talk to Daisy. Daisy gives me a quest to find fossils. Now, here's the tricky thing. I've already donated all of them, and I go searching around this entire map for an extended period of time, trying to see if I, like, missed one. I don't know if they can give you a quest for something you can't get, but I feel like that's what happened. So, unfortunately, I did not fulfill Daisy's wishes. Hopefully, they don't come at me with that shovel at some point. But as I'm searching around for potential fossils, I just have to figure out what's through this big opening here. And I see this. I don't know why, but this whole setup here is so strange, and it just kind of reminds me of the old school RuneScape login screen. I don't know why, but it just does. So apparently the only way to get into this town is through this gate, this medieval looking gate, and these two ex-cops are now like medieval guards guarding the gate, which really begs the question, did Cap'n drive in from the gate? I don't think he did. I think the game wants me to stop thinking about it, but I can't stop thinking about it. How do you get in here? Something else I'll say real quick too as I'm talking to my villagers more frequently. I was nervous talking to villagers in Wild World. They were already kind of crazy in the GameCube version. That's part of the charm, right? I've heard that Wild World is where they're like real wild. So I was expecting a lot more craziness than what I feel like I got. When I first entered my town in the GameCube version, Tom Nook and Gwen both laughed at me for being poor. No villager or Tom Nook has said anything even remotely mean to me whatsoever yet. Now, there's a big asterisk next to that yet, but at the moment, everyone seems very lovely and nice, and it's nice. It's fun. They still got some charm though, so I'm liking it. So I'm just continuing my journey of collecting fruit from trees so I can sell them, and then I just get the bright idea, hey, maybe I can get like an item if I shake these trees a little. Oh, good heavens, look at this. Look at that. I ran in there like a champ. I am a pro Animal Crossing gamer. Okay, so I buy a wardrobe, and in the wardrobe, I can store things in the wardrobe. That's nice. I like that. I've got some storage now. I don't have to like worry about things in my pockets all the time. I'm liking it. I'm having a good time here. Oh, also at some point, I do buy this kids flooring because I really didn't like that bamboo flooring. I'm not gonna lie. So this is the beginning of my Wild World journey, but this is the end of the video. Thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you again for all the support you guys have been giving me on my latest video and videos. It means a lot to me. Again, welcome all the new people who came in from that last video. Very nice to have you. This is more so what my content is actually like. Giving opinions and retrospectives kind of like stress me out because it just kind of gets people fired up. But most of the time, hi, I'm John. I'm here to make you laugh, or at least try to. But that'll be it for me today. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Take care of yourselves. I hope you all are enjoying the holidays coming up. So please take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye now.